You will have a benchmark exam on November 10th. It will cover all material that we have covered so far in 7th grade. And so this is your review. Number 1 says, which of the following statements is true? Every integer is a repeating decimal. Well, actually, integers cannot be decimals at all, so no. Every terminating decimal is an integer. Again, integers cannot be decimals. Every integer is a rational number. Well, if you think about our Venn diagram that shows whole numbers, and then integers is outside that, and then rationals is outside that. So yes, all integers are inside the rational circle. So yes, that's true. Every rational number is a repeating decimal. Well, 1/5 is a rational number and it's not repeating. So the correct answer would be this one. Number 2, label the following fractions as terminating decimal, repeating decimal, or integer. So we need to take each one of these fractions and divide them and see if they are terminating or repeating, or if they come out even, that would make them an integer. So 86 divided by 9 . 9 5/9. And we should know that ninths are repeating. That would be 9.5 repeating. So that's our repeating. And next one is 84 divided by 7. That one comes out even, so that one must be our integer. That leaves the last one to be the terminating decimal, but let's just check. It does become a decimal, but it ends. So that would be terminating. Now let's look at the answer choices. It says 86/9 is repeating. That's correct. None of the rest of them show that. It says 84/7 is an integer. That's correct. And 82/5 is terminating. So the first answer choice is the correct one. Number 3, Miss Ambrose paid $32.38 for 8.75 gallons of gasoline. Approximately how much did she pay per gallon? Per gallon, that means that we want to know for one. And if we want to find out for one of something, we divide. So 32.38 divided by 8.75. It's a big number. Going to have to move the decimal over 2 spaces. So that puts the decimal there. And you can kind of think, to get a good guess, cover the last 2 digits and think, how many times would 8 go into 32? 4 times. So that might be a good guess. Let's try it. What is 875 times 4? That's a little bit too big, so let's try 3. 875 times 3. That's smaller, so put a 3, and then it's 2,625, and we subtract. Don't forget to borrow. And we got to bring down a decimal, 0. Well, I know that 875 is going to go into that more than 4 times. Again, you can do the same trick. Cover up those last 2 digits. How many times would 8 go into 61? About 7 times. So let's try 7. That might be a good guess. 875 times 7. That's very close. So 6,125 with just 5 left over. And I'm pretty sure 875 is not going to go into 50, so that's a 0. And then we have to bring down another 0. It's money, so we really only need it to go 2 decimal spaces, but I have to go 1 more to know if I'm going to round up or not. So the next number would be 0 again, because 875 is too big for 500. So that's going to round to $3.70. Number 4. Which number goes in the box to make the equation true? Well, let's see what all of this right here would equal. 3.5 plus 2.2. Remember, you have to line up the decimals. So that first part is 5.7, and then we're going to minus 1.1. So all of this adds up to be 4.6 plus something equals 3.7. Well, what would I have to add to a big number to get a smaller number? A negative, that's right, a negative. So, what's the difference between 4.6 and 3.7? Just 0.9. And again, we said it has to be negative because I'm really taking 0.9 away. So either put negative 0.9 or negative 0.9. Number 5. The temperature at a ski resort in Vermont was 5 degrees Fahrenheit at 8 a.m. By noon, the temperature rose 16.5 degrees Fahrenheit. From noon to 3 p.m., the temperature rose another 7 degrees. From 3 p.m. to 9 p.m., the temperature fell 21 degrees Fahrenheit as a snowstorm came in. From 9 p.m. to midnight, the temperature fell 18 degrees Fahrenheit more. What was the temperature at midnight? Okay, so it starts at 5. It's going to rise 16 degrees. That means we're going to add. So that would make it 21. And then it rises again, so that's adding another 7. And then it's going to fall, so that means we're going to subtract 21. Subtract 21, and we get 7. And then it's going to fall 18. That means we're going to take another 18 degrees away. So if we have 7 and we're taking away 18, that's our rule, keep change opposite, because we're taking away more than what we had. So keep that 7, make that a plus, and that's a negative 18. So 18 minus 7, because the rule is different signs, we've got to subtract. But my answer is going to be negative because the number that's bigger is a negative, so negative 11 degrees. At midnight, the temperature was -11. Number 6. Mr. Wayne has a 3-year contract for his cell phone service. He pays $124.65 each month to cover everyone in his family. His employer reimburses him $45.95 each month because he uses his cell phone for work. How much will the family cell phone service cost Mr. Wayne over a 3-year period? So, reimburse means that they're going to give that money back to him. So that right there is money he can take off of his bill. He does not have to pay that. So if we're taking it off, that would be subtraction. Be sure to line up your decimals. And 5 minus 5 is 0. And we borrow. 16 minus 9 is 7. 13 minus 5 is 8. And 11 minus 4 is 7. So his monthly bill is $78.70. But they want to know for a 3-year period. There are 12 months in a year, so 12 times 3 makes 36 months. So I need to multiply 36 times 7870 to figure out how much it would be in 3 years. I'm going to make the problem a little bit easier on me so I don't have to multiply as many numbers by taking off that 0. Because remember, if a 0 is behind a decimal, I can drop that off. So 78.7 times 36. 6 times 7 is 42. Carry the 4. 6 times 8 is 48. Plus 4 makes 52. 6 times 7 again is 42. 42 plus the 5 we carried. 47. Done with that 6. I'm going to put down a 0. Mark off everything I carried so I don't accidentally use it again. And then 3 times 7 is 21. Carry a 2. 3 times 8 is 24. Plus the 2 makes 26. Carry the 2. 3 times 7, 21. Plus 2 makes 23. Add those up. And then we had 1 decimal space in the problem, so I need 1 in the answer. It goes right there. So he's going to spend $2,833.20, because remember, money gets 2 decimal spaces, so I need to put that 0 back. Number 7. Josie is playing a computer game where she earns 5 points each time she answers a question correctly. She loses 0.5 points when she answers a question incorrectly. Josie had a score of 8 points before she answered 9 questions in a row incorrectly. What is Josie's score now? So her score was 8, and then she answered 9 wrong. Well, if she answers 9 questions wrong, each one of those is 0.5. Each one. That means we need to multiply 9 times 0.5 to see how many points she just lost. And 9 times 5 is 45, and the decimal goes 1 space over. So she lost 4.5 points. Lost means it's going to be minus or negative. So we need to take that away from her score. Remember, decimals have to line up, so the 8 would have a decimal there, which means the 4 goes under the 8. Then we subtract. So Josie's new score is 3.5, or 3.5.